As Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796.
Welcome back, everybody. What you are about to see is one of the most serious, high-stakes moves we have seen on the House floor in a very long time. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has officially introduced a resolution to censure Representative Ilhan Omar and strip her of her committee assignments. Why does this matter? Because this goes straight to the core of constitutional accountability and the oath of office. Members of Congress take a solemn vow to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States, period. No double standards and no dual loyalties. But as you're about to hear, Congresswoman Greene lays out a devastating paper trail of recent remarks where Omar allegedly told an audience that the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do, and boasted about protecting another country's borders from right inside our federal system. If true, this represents an absolute betrayal of public trust, a glaring conflict of interest, and a complete failure of bureaucratic accountability. While the mainstream media tries to sweep this under the rug or reframe it as a misunderstanding, the raw text of these allegations speaks for itself. Look at the facts and decide for yourself. If you want honest conservative analysis that holds Washington accountable without the mainstream media spin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now.
Georgia seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A.1 of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows.
Recognized.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office. And whereas by openly admitting her efforts to advance Somalia's interest using her position as a United States representative, Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government. Now, therefore be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured. Representative Ilhan Omar forthwith present herself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Ilhan Omar be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker, and Representative Ilhan Omar be and is hereby removed from the Committee of the Budget and the Committee on Education and the Workforce.
Unbelievable. Let's break down exactly what we just witnessed, because the legal and political implications of this resolution are massive. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene did not just walk up to the microphone to throw political punches. She came armed with specific, text-based allegations that point to a fundamental violation of the oath of office. As conservatives, we believe in the rule of law and the strict defense of the U.S. Constitution. When a lawmaker takes an oath upon assuming office, that isn't just a formality, it is a binding legal and moral contract with the American people. The most damning part of this reading is the breakdown of the statements from January 27th. Think about the gravity of those words. Greene quotes Omar as assuring a crowd that the U.S. government will do what we want and nothing else, and telling them to sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Let's ask the obvious rhetorical question. Who does a United States representative actually serve? Do they serve the American citizens who pay their salaries with hard-earned tax dollars, or do they serve the geopolitical interests of a foreign government? Greene brilliantly contrasts these modern statements with the timeless wisdom of George Washington's 1796 farewell address. Washington warned this nation to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. He made it clear that a common country has a right to concentrate your affections. When you become a citizen, and especially when you become a federal lawmaker, your national capacity must always put America first. The policy and political implications here are profound. If the House fails to act on something this severe, what precedent does that set? Does it signal to the rest of the world that American politicians can be openly leveraged to advance foreign territorial disputes? Now, we know the counter-argument that has been floating around. Representative Omar and her defenders have claimed that these viral clips were mistranslated, taken out of context, and weaponized by political opponents. But here is the reality of public opinion. Words matter. In politics, perception is reality, and when the translated text reads as a literal directive to use the American system as a shield for a foreign state, the American public has every right to demand total transparency. Removing a member from the Committee of the Budget and the Committee of Education and the Workforce is a serious disciplinary action, but accountability demands consequences. If a corporate executive boasted to a competitor that they were manipulating their company from the inside, they would be fired by the board of directors by the end of the day. Why should the standards for the United States Congress be any lower? Ultimately, this move by House Republicans is about drawing a line in the sand for national sovereignty and government integrity. It forces every member of Congress to go on record and answer a simple question. Do you stand by the oath of allegiance to the United States, or are you willing to tolerate fractured loyalties in the halls of power? Washington has suffered from a lack of accountability for decades, but exposing these statements on the House floor ensures that the truth can no longer be hidden. It's time to put America first again.